My name is Kohei Maeda. I'm from Canon, and I'm so excited that the Canon is co-hosting this panel, the Mrs. Davis, the future of tech and entertainment. So I'd like to first thank Hollywood Reporter, editor-at-large James Hibbert, and tech editor Caroline Juliana for having Canon here today. I'd also like to thank Peacock and our panelists, the creator of Mrs. Davis, Tara Hernandez and Damon Lindelof. The first time I heard about this opportunity, I was really drawn to the plot of this series. It's a story about the battle between Mrs. Davis, the world's powerful artificial intelligence, and Simone, a nun devoted to destroying her. I've always been intrigued by AI ever since I was introduced to the character Hal from the movie 2001 Space Odyssey. Do you guys remember that movie? Yeah. So Hal was just only one big lens on the black box. No interface like keyboard or display. But I know this sounds strange, but somehow I still felt his facial expression. Because the most memorable part of the movie for me was when Captain David and his pilot were discussing how to disconnect Hal. They moved out of Hal's earshot, but did not realize Hal had learned how to read the lips and know everything what they are talking about based on what Hal sees. Even though he was just one big single lens, we can get the sense that he is filled with anger and sadness at that moment. Then the movie takes turn, and Hal decided to kill all the crew members of the spaceship. But anyway, back to my role at Canon. Okay? Canon's core skill set is imaging and processing of the visual information, which is a really important component of AI, especially when it comes to its relationship with human beings. As a matter of fact, Hal decided to make a huge decision, of killing all the crew members based on what he saw. So, from our cameras to our scanners, Canon's technology captures visual images and turns them into more valuable information with much more positive result than Hal. During the pandemic, at the same time that Tara and Damon was developing Davis, we, Canon, developed a new online video collaboration solution called AMLOS to improve the creative collaboration when we couldn't all be in the same physical space. So AMLOS stands for Activate My Line of Sight, which uses AI machine learning technology to detect hand gesture, which allows you to control the camera to share the physical assets in the room, like whiteboards or storyboards, character design, the prototype. So that's how we improve the creative collaboration. Then, whether you are in the writer's room or on a set, with a simple hand gesture, AMLOS will take a high-resolution picture and share with anyone who is joining that conversation remotely. Canon uses AI technology to make remote collaboration more human, more natural, more seamless. So I hope this panel sparks broader conversation about the future of creativity, AI, and imaging technology. So before we start the panel, please enjoy the brief video captured using AMLOS to bring you into the world of Mrs. Davis. Thank you. Enjoy.
Peacock's immersive upcoming series, Mrs. Davis, premieres this week at South by Southwest. The series follows a nun, played by Betty Gilpin, who takes on a powerful AI. I'm Carolyn Jardina, tech editor of The Hollywood Reporter, and we're going behind the screen with its creators, Tara Hernandez and Damon Lindelof. In this session, we'll demonstrate Canon's gesture-controlled video collaboration system, AMLOS, to show you some exclusive art and bring you into the world of Mrs. Davis. The detail in the costumes is incredible. Let's take a little bit of a look at that.
We wanted the show to be colorful and adventurous, a sense of sort of escapism and fun. There are so many shows about artificial intelligences or computers sort of like taking over the world, and we just thought, like, what is the opposite of the dystopias that were being presented, considering we were living in a bit of a dystopia at the time that the show was being rendered.
From the production design to the costumes to the cinema, it really, you did create such an immersive world. One of the very important costumes is our lead character's costume as a nun in the modern world. Tell us a little more about the progression, if you will, to her final costume.
We didn't want them to feel, docile. It was really important to us to show sort of their convent life as something that was, connected to nature and free and fun.
You're always looking for something distinctive, particularly for your hero character. But at the same time, this show is constantly towing the line of sacrilege. And it was really important always for Tara, from the first moment that we talked about this show, that we were presenting nuns not as objects of sort of ridicule, but as people that we should have a tremendous amount of respect for. Finding a costume that felt genuine and authentic to the nuns that we were familiar with, but then finding a way to make it feel distinctive was all in the kind of iteration of style and color.
You also brought some of the modern set design. Would you tell us a little bit about the restaurant, actually? Let's take a look at this one.
The falafel restaurant, plays so significantly in Simone's journey. Outside of the convent, this is essentially her happy place, her home. And so it needed to be something that felt warm.
You find that the space becomes so important on so many different levels to everyone. And so we had to iterate many, many different versions of it before you just look at something and go, that's it. But it is not to diminish the artistry of this sort of final image that you show us, but it's built atop the corpses of all of the images that preceded it. And we're so grateful to the patience and incredible artistry of our partners.
This is really fantastic. Thank you so much. What an incredible first look at some of the art and images from the show using Canon's AMLOS. Let's just remind everybody that Mrs. Davis will actually have its premiere on Peacock on April 20th, and I'm going to hand it over to my colleague James.